Welcome to Season 3 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast. I'm Chris. If you're new to the podcast, we're three friends and a producer who like to showcase craft breweries and their beers. Also, we like to end every episode with a short conversation on a variety of different topics. If you're not new to the podcast, well, you know what to expect. The three connoisseurs haven't changed, and the producers are always a wild card. Whether you're new or returning, please feel free to listen to all of our previous content. And remember, follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send us a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Chris.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett, and along with us today is Producer Logan.
Hello, Logan.
What's up?
Surprising. Oh, yeah. No, there he is. I see him all the way down there. Small guy.
Small guy.
He was hiding behind the corner there.
Yes.
So in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Sawdust City Brewing Company out of Gravenhurst, Ontario.
It's about time, eh?
It is about time.
We like Sawdust, right?
Oh, yeah. I like
So we're going to be having two beers in the episode, both new releases within the last couple months from Sawdust. The first is the Tropical Storm Cranberry Mule, which is a sour IPA. Nice. The second is Mocha Crunch, which is a milk stout.
There we go. And we're going to be wrapping up today's episode. We're going to be talking about cottages.
Yes.
Cottage time.
Makes sense. All right, so talking about Sawdust City, the brewery is located at 397 Muskoka Road North in downtown Gravenhurst, as we mentioned. So Sawdust City opened its doors back in July of 2014, so, almost 9 years ago now.
Mm-hmm. Good math, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. When they purchased an old Canadian Tire location. So I guess Canadian Tire upgraded their spot, and Sawdust City swooped in.
Yes. Gravenhurst still does have a Canadian Tire location. It's okay.
Yeah, which you need. You need that
It's true.
in a city.
Like a water plane coming into the dock.
Just
Swooped
in.
Yeah.
So you cannot miss the brewery location because a couple of reasons. Number one, we just told you what the address is. So if you are going there, you would put that in your GPS and it would take you right there. But they also have a very big yellow Adirondack chair out front, which is quite common up in the Muskoka region. So,
Except for the size of this one. It's quite large.
This one's a little bigger than what you're used to, I think.
Yes, I have heard.
A couple families
about the
could sit
size.
on this thing.
Yeah.
I have sat on it.
I as well.
Yes.
Wow. I have not.
Oh.
But I have sat in a Adirondack chair before.
Totally the same thing.
So the name of the brewery comes from the nickname of the town back in the days when mills and lumberyards lined the shores of the Muskokas in Gravenhurst. Obviously, lots of sawdust was created from those mills and lumberyards.
I mean, it might have been named differently if it was lined with Canadian tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need lots of Canadian. You don't really need more than one, probably, in Gravenhurst.
You don't know that.
You're right. Maybe you do need more than one.
There you go. So Sawdust City is owned and is still operated by Rob and Carl Langman, with co-founder Sam Corbeil, who's also the head brewer. So the beers that we are having today, we'll just thank Sam.
And all the other ones he's made,
Yeah.
too. He's made a few
boatload?
good ones, yeah.
He does make good
A boatload.
There you go. So
Love to see it.
Good to keep it cottagey, if you will.
stuff. Yeah.
So Sawdust, they actually started brewing their first beers at Niagara College. I mean, we have never talked about Niagara College at all.
Not once.
Not
It's
a
our
chance.
first mention, I think, in the podcast.
Oh, this episode, yeah.
Well,
That's true. Actually, it was on Halloween in 2011, so a little spooky.
Ooh.
There it is. Thanks, guys. Who needs a soundtrack? It's like soundboard,
I am the soundtrack.
There it is, yeah. Oh, to my heart. And it took a while to perfect the recipes and brands that you see today. So I guess when we say took a little while, maybe roughly 3 years.
Yeah, pretty good.
2.5?
Between
they had
October
to find a
2011.
location first, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
takes
fair.
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Niagara to Muskoka.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a
It's a
little
hike.
track,
Took just
yeah.
as long as Producer Logan to scroll down here. Anyway, the 20,000 square foot facility is located on the main street of Gravenhurst and includes a 24 hectoliter Canadian-made brewhouse, canning line, barrel aging room, a large retail store, and tap room, endearingly titled The Saloon. I've also been to the Saloon.
Yes.
Tyler? Chris?
Yeah, I've been to the saloon as well.
You've been to a saloon, but not the saloon, I bet, right?
I have not been to the saloon.
You're missing out. It's great,
Yeah.
great saloon.
I think we should probably bring him up there this summer. What do you think?
Yeah, busy that day.
Yeah, same. Busy driving some places. Anyway.
Yeah, I got a lot of places to drive this summer, let me tell you.
Exactly.
And Gravenhurst isn't one of them.
Well, it might be.
we'll see.
We'll pass by, yeah.
The retail store sells cans, bottles, and, Producer Logan's favorite, growlers.
Yeah.
Big growler guy. Canadian-made merchandise and local products.
So it's kind of like carrying on the Canadian Tire tradition, just
Yes.
selling Canadian stuff still.
Except the triangle points aren't accepted here, don't think. Anyway,
That would be
Yours
cool.
the Canadian Tire money.
Yeah.
I wish it was, That's
they should have like a label, just the Canadian Tire Money as one of their beers.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Anyway, Sawdust is dedicated to being as local and sustainable as possible, making sure that everything that they sell is responsibly sourced. So the vocal point of the taproom, okay? 24-foot live edge bar milled from a 100-year-old naturally felled pine tree, honoring the long history of logging in Muskokas. So the bar features 18 draft lines. That's a good amount.
That's a lot.
It's a nice
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah. Tasting flights. So they actually have like two size flights. They have like a 4 one, and they have like, I think you can have all 18.
Whoa.
Yeah. Or maybe it's 12. Might be
Yeah.
12.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a big wheel there. I think it might be 12. My math, not so good. Chris's math, really good. All right. Mug Club, Tudor Tastings, and the patio was added in 2019, which features a pergola?
Pergola.
Pergola. English, too.
Hey,
I gotta go back to school.
I'm going to be honest with you. I prefer Paragola. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're adding in letters, but cool.
But let's just say that there's...
Give it your little Bronx twist to it.
No,
No, give it a little Bronx twist.
Pergola. No, that was terrible. Let's just say that they have ample outdoor seating to enjoy Sawdust beers.
Yeah, not
We just say that no matter what
cheer,
Yeah, English or whatever's involved with that, what kind of chairs, doesn't matter. There's a good amount of space
They do
to be
have a lot of
outside
space.
Yeah.
and enjoy your beers.
There you go.
So you mentioned that the two of you have been to the saloon. Logan, have you been to the saloon as well? Yes, he has.
has.
Okay.
Actually, I believe he went with Tyler.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good story about that. They actually drove like an extra half an hour from where we were staying at a cottage in Washago to Gravenhurst just to have Sawdust City beers, then drove back because they didn't want to get to the cottage too early.
They're that good.
Well, it wasn't just that. I wanted the beers too.
You could have had them on the Sunday when I went, when you were coming back.
Well, yeah, there's actually a correction that we have to make in the script because I think Logan doesn't really know me too well and didn't really actually ask how many times I've been there. So we'll make that correction on the fly. But, Brett, how many times have you been?
I've been twice.
There you go.
Actually. Both times this past summer, actually.
Good. And in here it says Tyler and Logan have gone once that last time in the past summer, which is actually incorrect. I've been there more than once. I've been there 3 times.
Oh, 3 times.
Yes. Yeah. I've been there 3 different times.
Apparently, Logan does not know you well enough.
Or did not care to ask.
A little bit option A, a little bit option B.
Yeah, I was there this past summer. I was there actually for a wedding that was up in Gravenhurst.
That was the summer before, I think,
the
wasn't it?
summer before. And then I was actually there for a work conference. I guess that would have been 3 or 4 years ago.
Ah, yes, the old work conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on the water.
Yeah, right on the water.
She was beautiful, right
Yes.
there, But yeah, so I've been there three different times and have enjoyed myself just as many. Chris, you alluded to this a little bit earlier on, but how many times have you been, Concer?
I have not been there, unfortunately. Yeah, but it is definitely a brewery that I would like to get to.
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, definitely.
Just dive right in, get there.
I'll take my water plane.
There you go.
So the beer itself, when they make it, they do utilize the pure Muskoka spring water that is readily available around them, the finest malts, and the choicest hops. They also use the freshest ingredients through all 4 seasons, including limited batch, barrel aged, and experimental beers as well. So they've got a little bit of everything for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was going to take this next point, but I know that Brett probably really
you can
wants
take it.
No, go ahead.
No,
I know
please,
you really
please.
want to. This is something that
Please.
you love this stuff.
I do like collaboration. We can collaborate on this. No.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so Sawdust does have fun with lots of collaborations, and late last year collaborated. God, English.
I should have took it.
Yeah,
I should have
with Third Moon and Beer Town for Bone Pine. So it's inspired by Sawdust City staple Lone Pine and
Yep.
Third Moon staple Bone Tree. So it merges the hops of Lone Pine, Lone Tree, sorry, with the malt body. No, you know what? Lone Pine, Bone Tree, English. It's not great. Hops of Lone Pine Malt body of Bone Tree.
There you go.
Okay. So now I'm going to slide it over to Tyler, who's going to not screw up the next part and just take it.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Thank you so much, Brett, for throwing it back over here. I'm Tyler. Coming out very soon is actually going to be the Lone Tree to all Beer Town locations, which will actually be kind of the flip in the terms of the hops in the Bone Tree and the malt body of the Lone Pine. So it's the inverse of whatever Brett was trying to get out earlier on.
See, I jumped ahead a little bit because I was so eager about getting Lone Tree.
Right.
It's true.
So we have the Bone Pine and then the
Lone Tree.
The Lone Tree. Okay.
So just take the hops and the malts and flip them for whichever one you want. And just remember that the hops come from whichever the last word is in the title of the beer.
Yeah. There's a lot of 4-letter words that are mixing in together and getting confused.
We'll
Figure
figure
it
it out.
out.
What a time.
I guarantee you nobody's following what we're talking about.
Just go to Beer Town, okay?
Go to Beer Town, ask for the Sawdust City and Third Moon collab, and they'll have it. That's the moral of the story.
It's true. So something that we do know is on Untappd, there's 539 different beers created by Sawdust.
That is a lot.
Yes.
It is a lot. With an average rating of 3.73 out of 5 and over 276,000 check-ins.
Also a lot.
A couple.
It might be your brewery of choice up in the Muskokas.
I think it is.
Oh, yeah. And definitely
A quarter of a million
busiest.
check-ins. A quarter of a million check-ins
Yeah.
might also agree with that.
I would say Sam's been busy in
Yes.
those 9
Say
9
that.
years. Yeah.
True.
So myself, I have 30 check-ins. None of them have been before the episode today, like recording day. Seems like it might have been throughout me stumbling through the last part, but
Yeah,
no.
you have not. What you're trying to say, I think, even now, is that you've not consumed a lot of beers this morning.
Do I want to? Yes. Okay. So I've had 30 check-ins with 3 5s. So one is Everyday Magic, which is probably my favorite New England IPA.
It is a really good beer. Yeah.
The Orange Creamsicle Sour, and then the Double Juicin'.
Yeah.
Yes, Double Juicin'.
Very good.
It's like juicing twice. Tyler?
Jeez. Yes. So we've talked about this. Is we haven't had a whole lot of check-ins from a lot of the breweries in the past when you kind of add them all up. This one's a little bit different.
It is.
Which might also be in relation to that 276,000 check-ins. But I've had 23. I've only given one 5 out of 5. I have enjoyed a lot of their beers. They do probably have a higher average rating than my normal. And it was the Viva La Stout. Again, I mean, I've
Damn good beer.
been enjoying a lot of stouts, a little bit more so as we kind of go along with the podcast. But Viva La Stout, delicious.
Beautiful. So I'll hit Logan's first. So he's had 25 check-ins, and he's given one 5 out of 5, which was the passion fruit guava flavored kettle sour. And I have had 15 check-ins, despite not being to the brewery. And the highest ratings I've given, 2 4.75s. Number 1 was Lusciousness Hazelnut Latte, which is a stout, and Juicin', which is the single Juicin' IPA.
Yes.
So you might give that, what, a 9.5 if you had the double
Yeah.
out of 5?
100%.
And then you go lowest terms, which would be...
So one thing I do want to kind of note here about their beers and some of our favorites, and this speaks, I think, to the brewery overall. And we'll probably see this when we try some of the beers later on in the episode. But they have a wide variety of beer types that we enjoy.
Yes.
We've got the double juice, and we got the creamsicle sour, we got a kettle sour, we got a stout that's up there, we've got a New England IPA. So it's not necessarily like, oh, if I like sours, I'm just going to enjoy Sawdust. Like, you probably will enjoy a sour from there, but it's not like they're specific, honed in on, like, they just do IPAs really well.
Yeah, and I don't think I've had anything from Sawdust that's been bad.
Right.
Everything
yeah.
that they make
Everything's
is
I'm going to knock on some wood. Hopefully that doesn't change.
everything that they make is quality. Now it might not be in the higher than a 4, but it's not lower than like a 3. I would say.
There's no pour outs.
Yeah.
So currently there's 28 different beers listed on their website for purchase. So, get a few friends together, collab. Don't make a podcast, though, because we're still number 1. Anyway, delivery-wise, free local delivery within Gravenhurst and Muskoka regions, and there's a $15 flat rate shipping across Ontario. Taproom and bottle shop hours, Sunday to Thursday, 11 to 9, and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 11.
Beautiful. Well, as always, we're going to link to their information on our social media so you can get a hold of their beers.
And let's dive right into the first one.
All right, here we are, kicking back on
here.
We're in our Adirondack chairs, just chilling.
No, you're on a couch.
We should have brought some in for the episode.
I'm the only one in a chair right now.
Hey,
I have a chair. I have a chair.
King of the castle, king of the castle. All right, so let's get this back on track. All right.
Please.
Big thank you to Chelsea for connecting with us and all the staff over at Sawdust City for providing the beers on today's episode. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Chelsea, and everybody else.
We're not going to name them all because I'm sure there's a lot and we don't know their names. So the first
Seems reasonable.
The first beer we're going to have, as we mentioned, is Sawdust City's newest release within the Tropical Storm series. Their Cranberry Mule. So this one comes in at 6.2% ABV with 25 IBUs.
Yes. So the Cranberry Mule is stated as being a cocktail lover's IPA, made with 100% real ginger, cranberry juice, and fresh lime zest, along with Mosaic, Nelson Sauvin, Idaho 7 hops, 2-row, oat malt, oat flakes, Caraform, dextrose, and foggy London yeast. This beer is a smash of all good things cocktail and all good things beer that will best pair with, because I'm a little hungry too, grilled sea bass, calamari, goat cheese, and a Thai noodle salad.
I would say you almost like all those things, Brett.
Not big fan of grilled sea bass. Calamari, Goat cheese and Thai noodle salad, though.
I've seen you put back some calamari.
Sure.
Fair enough.
If he's hungry enough.
Yeah. All right. So, follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons and on Untapped at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. The rating for Tropical Storm Cranberry Mule is 3.57 out of 5, and there's 40 check-ins of it at the time of the recording. We don't know right now how many 5s have been given, but maybe we can get Logan on that.
Yeah, I should do something, right?
Yeah, get on that, Logan. Well, Logan's doing that. I'm going to maybe take a talk about this beer before we move on. I think it is very important when we go to open it up is understanding that this is listed as a Cranberry Mule. And because of that, we know it's beer, but we also have to kind of go in thinking it is also going to be like a Moscow Mule kind of esque, and hence where you're going to get the ginger push. Just in, there is 5 out of 5s.
Yes.
5 out of 5s.
And a little bit of an update. It is actually now rated at a 3.59.
Ooh.
With 61 check-ins. Right? So a
good
lot of
job,
check-ins.
Logan. Good.
Logan must have written this script like a year ago or something like that.
Actually, what I think he did is just scrolled up like on his phone and it refreshed.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He doesn't want to pay for data, right?
You got on the Wi-Fi here. So how many check-ins was it?
61.
Okay, good. All right. So let's, with that updated information, grab our glass, grab our cans, and let's open her up. Nice.
Great sound.
Nice.
Get a little splash in the face there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Seriously, did.
Yeah. So we are drinking this out of an IPA glass today, as it is a sour IPA. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
Now, could we have went with a sour glass?
Yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right.
Why didn't we do one and we should have had one person do the sour glass?
Oh, yeah. We could have.
That sounds like a producer, Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go, Logan.
Yeah. Not saying you're sour or anything, but just saying you could have done it.
Said you messed up.
So on the color here, a little bit of I'll call it like a muted cranberry color. Like a little lighter, diluted maybe.
Ooh, diluted. I'll go with diluted.
Diluted's
color.
better than a muted cranberry.
I'd
Like
go
just a
with either.
silent cranberry color, okay?
I'd go with either. I could see both.
Thank you. Because it's not like super red like you would expect from a cranberry, but it has that kind of reddish orange tinge to it, and pretty opaque.
I would say a little bit of pinkish too.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you just to end it there. Pretty. pretty.
It's pretty and pink, like the can.
I mean,
Pretty-
it is pretty.
okay. Do you want to talk about the can, Brett? No?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
well,
one
check.
I may actually get almost correct.
Well, we'll see.
Right? So it's got a little bit of a mug with a nice little umbrella on it. I assume when you have a Moscow Mule or anything like that, you get it with an umbrella on it. Could be wrong. But there are some lemons, some limes. Looks like a couple cactuses in there.
No, that's ginger.
Yeah, that's right.
Almost got it right. This is becoming my favorite segment.
I saw the ginger on there.
Yeah.
I was like, he is not going
Not
to get
gonna
that
get
one.
that.
Yeah. I'm not a ginger guy. Ginger ale, sure.
Okay.
Ginger ale than that, no.
All right.
Yeah.
What we should have done is we probably should have had this in a copper mug.
Yes,
That's what we should have.
That
'cause
is what they would be depicting on their can there.
is represented there.
I got one of those at home. I could just
Okay,
Producer Logan would let me know. I would have brought it.
Yep.
But-
What are you guys smelling?
Ginger. No, like it's very strong
It's
on
same
the
with,
ginger on the nose.
The lime.
Yeah, it's a nice little ginger lime mixture, I think.
Yeah, it's
not
like
much cranberry off the nose.
ginger almost hits you right away and then kind of transitions.
How are your
to lime.
nostrils feeling right now? You a little cleared up more?
I don't know if you can ask that.
Yeah, that ginger might clear it up a
I
little
think
bit.
I think what I'm getting is the ginger with like a lime, probably like an undertone. Cranberry to me it's a very light fruit.
Yes.
So it is going to be muted, we'll say, both probably in the flavor. Because ginger will overpower, I think.
Yes.
We'll see how balanced it kind of comes out. I hope that we can get a little bit of everything.
I hope so too.
And speaking of hoping to get a little bit of everything, maybe we should drink it and find out.
See if we do get a bit of everything.
What a segue.
So
Good job.
why don't you guys have a couple sips and
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'll just mention to everyone based on Untapped. There's this is the 4th different tropical storm sour IPA that they've released, and this is I'm having the 3rd one. So I've had a couple others, the mojito one and the daiquiri one.
You would have the mojito one.
Yes, I like that one. They also have a mimosa one, which I have not had, but that would have been good.
Of the Tropical Storm series?
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
the 4th one, yes.
I think I've had that one.
I think I've had all of them. I could be wrong.
All
I
right.
could be right. Who knows?
I haven't had the mojito, but I have had the mimosa and the daiquiri.
There you go.
Good beers.
What do you think about this one? While Brett finds out,
I
how
have
many
not had
he's
the
had?
mimosa.
There you go. Yeah, I'm definitely getting the ginger up front. And like it's difficult because it kind of smacks you a bit.
Yeah.
But then it does cool itself off, and I think that is kind of helping with the cranberry and the lime aspect of it. But because it comes forward as like a ginger sour, like that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And then I think, as I say, it backs off with the other flavors coming through at the end.
Yeah, this is a lot of ginger on the forefront.
Yep.
Indeed, it definitely hits you strong. But once you get past the ginger, the actual cranberry and like lime zest flavor that's coming through on the tail end is actually very refreshing.
Yeah, and it's not overly sour, right?
No,
like
no.
it's a nice amount of sour.
Yeah, it's not tart.
No,
Like
which is good because cranberry and lime are sour.
Yeah, very acidic
fruits. Yeah. But yes, I agree. The ginger and like you can tell based on the taste because I think there is a difference in taste that it's straight from the ginger root, your cactus there, Brett.
Yes.
Because it definitely has that flavor coming through.
Now, ginger sometimes will be a little spicy. I don't know if you guys are getting a little bit of a spice to it.
Yeah, I think it's a little spicy.
Right?
A little bit.
Not saying there's anything wrong with it, and sometimes that kind of comes through as maybe a little heat.
Yeah. Just
portion?
kind of lingers there a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I think it's good to point out about that sour aspect because if this was straight up just a kettle sour, I think it would have been completely different. One, because it's not the IPA aspect, but being the kettling of it would have changed this, and it would have been maybe too tart.
Definitely agree.
And I think that the direction that they chose to go on this, I see it, and I really respect it. Like it makes for probably the better beer choice out of the two.
Now, a quick question for you. You were just traveling to Portugal.
I was there, yes.
Yes. And you
I
had
didn't mention it. Let the
it's
record
true.
show.
Yeah, it's true. But people on our Instagram would have saw that you were obviously in Portugal.
Yes.
And you had a ginger beer there.
I did.
How would this one compare to a ginger beer?
Yeah, so there's some similarities to it, but there's obviously going to be a bit different based on the base, if you will. This one I'm enjoying about the same, but they're two different ballparks.
Because a ginger beer probably isn't sour.
It was not sour, but and it was a full on just ginger
Yeah.
base. So it was a ginger cherry, and so cherry would have had a bit more of the tartness too, which the cranberry doesn't. So it's kind of a give and take. There are some similarities to it, but being a straight up ginger beer, completely different than this one. Yeah. But I mean, good flavor profile in here. I'm tasting everything.
Yeah.
And I want to go back for another sip.
And
I'm
it's
not-
one.
not
It's
staying
a
away
good
from
thing that the beer is saying, okay, it's got this, this, and this, and it's hitting all points so far. which is a sign of beer.
100%.
And Sawdust is usually pretty good at that in terms of telling you exactly what the beer is and hitting all those points.
Yeah, we're getting everything. So speaking of all those different points, why don't we talk about the top 5 flavor profiles? So the first one comes in as sour.
Not going to be number 1 for me, but in top 5.
Yeah, I would not put it in no.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Number 2 is ginger.
Yeah, that would be number 1 for me.
Yeah, that would be number 1 as well.
Yeah.
Number 3 is herbal, which I presume is also kind of getting at that ginger piece, but I don't think I would put herbal there.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. You've already listed ginger.
Yeah.
There's no sense of kind of doing a redundancy.
And again, once this beer gets more check-ins, probably that herbal does
Float
bleed its
out.
way off the list.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Let's hope so.
Number 4 is tart. I don't think I would put that there. Like, I think having sour as like the number 2 or 3 would be probably sufficient enough for me.
Okay. I'd be more like acidic. That's kind of what I would maybe put in the number 4 range, right?
Okay.
Like it's not tart, but it's got the acidity.
Sure.
And then number 5 is berries. So I think cranberry is an option as a flavor profile. So I'm surprised that that's not coming through rather than berries.
And that's what Logan says too, is maybe changing it out and getting, the specificity of cranberry put in there instead of the berries.
Well, and
I'm glad you said that word because I would have screwed it up.
I knew it. I knew he had it typed there, and I was like, I gotta say it because if Brett does it, Logan's gonna be mad because we'll be here for like forever just trying to get the specificity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a problem.
There you go.
But I also would put lime, I would say.
I was gonna say that is lime should be definitely added to this. The cranberries maybe listed as a 5. I'm getting more of a lime that probably replace herbal out and put lime into the 3 spot for me.
Yes, I'm getting more lime than cranberry. I would agree.
Oh,
Yeah. I'd say.
I think we're all on the same
think so,
page
yeah,
in this.
yeah, I think
you know
so.
what I mean? Like, I think we're all probably going to be sitting somewhere around the same.
I'm thinking so. Well, we probably should see what other people think about this beer. So there is some untapped check-ins on this one. And Tyler, you have the very first one.
I do. The first one is Dana R. The handle is Star Lightning 1977. And on March 6th, you're going to find that some of these, they should all be relatively new or closer to the release date of this because the beer is new. Said, tart and tangy with herbal notes. Hints of ginger, cranberry, and lime are all well balanced. Light with a tinge of bitterness in the finish. 3.75 out of 5.
Yeah, I like that review. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So the next one comes from Big Tall Goof. Same handle as...
It's not my burner account, don't worry. I'm not Kevin Durant.
Said tall, though. I wouldn't classify it as tall.
6'1". I mean,
He's pretty tall.
I'd say he's tall.
I think
But
he's
goof, let me tell you.
Big goof for sure.
tall. Oh,
Red
100%.
horse blanket, am I right?
So Big Tall Goof, a.k.a. Brett Burner account, on February 18th said ginger up front, almost taking it to a ginger beer territory. There you go.
Almost.
Almost.
But
yeah.
Not
quite.
there. Yeah.
Cranberry is definitely there. This takes me back to the ginger beers served with bitters I was having in Ireland with very similar herbal flavors. And Big Tall Goof gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I can understand that. And we talked about that. I'm glad that you brought it up earlier, Brett, about that hard ginger beer that I had on my vacation.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to get us started off, and I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Logan?
Out of 5.
Come on, Logan. Speed it up.
Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, so I agree with you, Tyler. I'm going to give it a 3.5 as well. But I don't think there's necessarily... I think they did a good job making this beer and making all the flavors come out that they wanted to. It's just not necessarily what I would gravitate to.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Chris. Literally. I'm giving it a 3.5 as well. It's, again, for what they did here, great style, just nothing that maybe I would, look at the LCBOs, et cetera, to pick up.
Yeah. And it's probably something I would grab off the shelf of the LCBO because, number one, it's Sawdust City and they make good stuff.
Yep.
And I like to try,
For sure.
kind of different stuff, right? So,
Producer Logan coming in at a 3.25, so just a little bit lower than us
yeah.
on the totem pole because he doesn't have a voice and we do.
There you go. So that's going to give us an overall team score of the 3.5 Simon's 3 and the 3.25. Logan's got the math done for me. Thank you, Logan. It's going to be a 3.4375, which we will round on up because there's 3 of us and the math makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, we're going to move on to beer number 2.
The second Sawdust beer we're having today is Mocha Crunch, which is a milk stout based off one of everybody's favorite Canadian chocolate bars. Well, not mine, but like I'm sure a lot of people do like the chocolate bar that this is based off of.
Do we know what it's based off of?
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. So this beer is labeled as delicious combination of chocolate, coffee, and soft vanilla wafers. Chocolate, coffee, and soft vanilla wafers?
I think you could probably put it together.
It's a Mars bar.
Yeah.
Haven't had a Mars bar with a soft vanilla wafer in it before.
There you go. So, utilizing vanilla and mocha extract along with lactose sugar. The Magnum hops are in this along with two-row. Carafa Special Type 2, Munich 2 Dark Roast Crystal, wheat flakes, toasted barley flakes, and California ale yeast. Mocha Crunch will best pair with desserts such as,
Just all the desserts.
really all the desserts. Just have it with everything, right?
Yep.
You can also have it with barbecue and blue cheese if that's your thing. It's not mine.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say I judge people who enjoy blue cheese.
Wow.
So
There you go.
I greatly enjoy blue cheese.
I judge you now.
The judgment is upon you, Chris.
I mean, that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
It's bad.
Well, on Untappd for this beer, it's not bad. So this Mocha Stout has an average rating of 4.06 with, out of 5, of course, with 52 check-ins. Now, Logan's just doing a little quick math. Oh, 0, 5 out of 5s again.
Dang. But there could be one coming up. We'll see, right?
There could be.
Could be. Maybe. Who knows?
At least one of us has had a 5 out of 5 on a Sawdust City Stout before. So
Surprise. Not me.
It's true.
that is actually a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that's not a 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
All right, let's grab your coffee. Nope, sorry. I don't know why I said that. That's so weird.
That's really weird.
It's so
Grab your
weird.
caramels, okay? Let's.
How did I say that? Grab your cans and your glasses, and let's open her up. Oh, that's nice on the nose.
Indeed, indeed. I'm not going to steal Chris's part because Chris is pouring currently, as I am as well. But I'm pouring this into some sort of type of glassware.
Yes, you are.
What glassware is it?
Well, this is a stout glass. So I think I mentioned in our last episode that we hadn't pulled them out yet. So back-to-back episodes with the stout glass. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
And with that proper glassware, we're seeing a fair amount of head on this one.
Yes, indeed, actually.
A lot.
A quick pour, if you will, from
You could probably measure it both ways.
you. Yeah, your 4-finger discount on this one might work out well. But
How many knuckles? There you go.
yeah, lateral knuckles on the old metatarsals.
Maybe make it like a parabola with no. Parabola, no. Okay. It's going to make a parabola soon when the angle is going to go down my mouth, down the hatch. No?
Okay. So, a nice fluffy head on this. What are you guys getting on the nose?
I would say that unnamed chocolate bar.
I would also say that unnamed chocolate bar that I have had a couple times but do not like, but I like the smell of this beer.
I think you can name it.
Yeah, so I
Crisp de la Coffee?
There it is.
Yeah.
En français.
There you go. I don't know if that's the actual
Absolutely
translation.
not. It is 100% not.
It sounds accurate. But yeah, this smells just like a coffee crisp, which makes a lot of sense. And being more specific, I guess, you get that coffee flavor, coffee nose, but also
I love a good coffee nose.
coffee on the nose,
go.
but also some chocolate and that kind of, breadiness, if you will, which, is that wafer.
The light wafer notes.
Yes.
Right? I feel like it smells exactly like a coffee
This
crisp.
smells fabulous. I'll be honest.
So,
With a light, fluffy head. And I'm going to keep some of that head retention for as I drink it because I want to get some of that head in my flavor profile.
In the mouth.
Right?
well, should
I
we
do.
just drink it then?
I think so.
Yeah,
wow.
why don't you guys
What a
start?
call.
We didn't talk about what color it is, but I think we can all say a stout's a stout. And
It is red. No, it's
she's
Looks like a stout,
that
don't worry.
rich chocolate kind of color. So, Chris, I see that you're getting into it. Brett, you're getting into it. I see I see some satisfied faces, I think.
Yeah. No, I got a lot of the head in the mouth there. Might have some on my mustache here. But yeah, this is good. Not as much chocolate flavor maybe as I was expecting coming through.
A little more mocha.
Let it sit. Let it sit. I think it might come.
Yeah, maybe a couple more sips to get out of it. But yeah, I think the coffee flavor presently is dominating on this one.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. The chocolate's definitely coming in on the back end.
As it kind of warms up a bit too,
Yes,
I feel
exactly.
like as we get halfway through, we might see some of that chocolate come through.
Yeah. 3 hours from now, going to be a lot more chocolate.
Yeah, let's just we'll see you guys in 3 solid hours.
We haven't done that. We'll do that eventually. Anyway.
An all-nighter.
Yes.
All right. Well, I mean, the flavors that I'm getting to is I'm getting a strong wafer kind of feel to it. The coffee is there, but I'm also getting the chocolate on kind of throughout. I was going to say kind of midway through, but really I'm still getting it kind of up front.
Now, I'm surprised that Producer Logan wasn't on the ball with this. And Producer Logan's big on, getting the ingredients or the thing that the beer is based out of. So where the heck is my coffee crisp?
Well, I think he knew that you didn't like it.
I don't care. I just wanted a free coffee crisp. Because then we could have took the picture with the beer.
There you go.
I'm sure there probably would have been some copyright laws that we would have got into, sued.
No. It's just a general comparison.
You could just unwrap it and just have a chocolate bar sitting there.
You could have it in there saying, hey, this is a nice comparison of something that we'd pair nicely.
Yeah, we believe this tastes similar.
We would get
I
rid
would
of the-
rather pair this with a coffee crisp than blue cheese.
I was just going to say, we would dump the blue cheese and we'd add the coffee crisp.
I will say, after drinking a little bit of it now, pairing this with blue cheese would probably be pretty weird.
Right? Like I had offline, I had an M&M-ish, I don't want to say M&M, copyright, you never know, cookie. And it actually is pairing very nicely with this. It's a dessert.
Chocolate-coated.
Chocolate-coated cookie.
There might have been an M on the little chocolate
Actually,
piece.
if you flip it upside down, it's a W.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all
true.
about perspective.
So, and it pairs really nicely with this. Like I'm
I bet it
cleansing
does.
it through. It's nice, that chocolate on chocolate. I'm enjoying this, but doesn't matter if I'm enjoying it. There's some flavor profiles that we should probably go through. Brett, why don't you take these ones?
Sure. I will do that. So number 1, coffee. Is this just a cup of coffee?
It's a little bit more than
It's definitely more than
just coffee flavor for sure. But I would put coffee as number 1. Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah, I also do. Number 2 is chocolate.
Yeah, I would. So I would say the last few sips that I've had, I've been experiencing more of that chocolate. So I would say it would be a number 2 for me.
And I think for me is because I had that cookie offline. I might have been a little bit tainted on it. So I'm glad to see that you are coming around to it because I was already there, but I already had some chocolate probably in my palate.
A little residue.
Yeah. I wonder where this would go if I had a coffee crisp. Number 3,
We'll just never know. How are we going to know?
creamy.
Not so much. And I'm going to hold off on the rest of my comments until the next 2 come.
Fair enough. Chris?
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. 4.
wanna
Can I
do it
just
as
do
a
4 and 5
yeah,
together?
do it as a package deal.
So
Yeah.
number 4 is vanilla. Number 5 is smooth.
Yeah, so my comments now coming in is the creamy vanilla smooth 3-4-5 combo. I would say that I'd go kind of it. I'm getting the vanilla, but that's obviously kind of induced by the wafer. Not the wafer wire, the wafer wire. There we go. We'll do the vanilla and smooth. They're kind of coming through. So I'm not getting a whole lot of creaminess. I think it is a smooth beer, but it's not a creamy beer.
I agree. And this is not overly thick, which you might
it's not.
get sometimes on a stout like this. And, kind of lower on the ABV than other like pastry stouts where they might be, kind of closer to 10 kind of thing. So, but yes, I agree. I would say there is some vanilla, but it does also go down nice and smooth.
No, it definitely goes down very smooth. I think thinking back to the Viva La Stout and the caramel wine that they have, it almost seems like obviously it's the same base, just with the different flavor thrown in, right?
Probably, yeah.
And that's why I really enjoyed their stouts.
Yeah.
Because they are something that my brain can go to as a reference point.
Mm-hmm.
And I can cross-check and say, okay, yes, this makes sense. This flavor's here, yes, no, yes, no. Going back to Chris's point about the ABV and being a little bit lower, this is a nice kind of beer. Like I could have 2 of these after dinner or something, and be good, and
Totally.
and really just enjoy that experience of having these flavors kind of come out. It's almost like pairing with like an after 8 if you wanted to kind of mix in a little bit of like a chocolate and mint. Even mint would kind of go with this, right? Like if you're kind of going with something to kind of pair it with, or everybody's favorite chocolate chip mint ice cream, right, guys?
It's better than blue cheese.
Yeah, I tell you, it's very polarizing, right?
It's not my number one ice cream flavor.
I will say
That's
though,
for
like
sure.
on the can, obviously it says sweet and satisfying, and I think this beer hits that point of being both sweet but
Yeah.
yet satisfying at the same time, right?
But not overly sweet, which is nice.
yes.
Are you guys ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to some thoughts from Untapped users. Brett, you got 1. Chris, you're on number 2.
So the first one comes from Ryan K, and his handle is Ryan Kleinau. On February 5th, Sawdust continues to knock this series out of the park. I do agree with that. Super rich and chocolatey, but not overdone. Well balanced, 4.25 out of 5.
Nice. So the next one comes from Disco D, and the handle is Ryan Trussler. So another Ryan. On February 3rd, commented, very smooth, creamy, and tasty. Great to sip on by a fire on a cold night. And Ryan gave it a 4 out of 5.
What about you?
Well,
Well, I can see that.
yeah, I would probably. I think I'm going to peg this one. This is not the best out that they've made, but it's still good. I'm going to give it a 4.25 out of 5.
Seems to be a theme in the episode. I'm also going to give it a 4.25. Chris and I are just sitting on the same wavelength here.
Wow.
Sitting on the same dock,
Yep.
watching the tide roll
Are you
in.
sitting on the same dock as us, or are you going to go a couple over yonder there?
Jeez. Somebody please save me from this torture which I've endured.
Producer Logan? Oh, wait, he left.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it the 4.25.
Oh,
I was-
you are on the same dock.
Yeah, I was hovering there for a bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give the 4.25. Now, Producer Logan is a little bit lower than us, and they're going to give it a 3.25.
Should have paired it with a coffee crisp.
Yeah, Logan's across the lake. He's out there.
We'll wave to him.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's put him in a canoe or a kayak without some paddles and send him on his way. Yeah. Give him the old Viking send-off. What do you guys think?
No, I think.
Sure.
All right.
I mean,
we're good.
I feel like we need him back next week though for a producer special.
No, we don't.
Just give us a topic.
We got some other ones in the
queued up.
queued up. We're fine.
There we go. So yeah, actually, Logan said they're hoping for more vanilla. Bigger fan of the previous beers in the series. So I guess that series is stouts.
Well, the Viva Stout, the Stout, like
Yes.
Yeah, like dessert stouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to see a peanut butter cup or an O. Henry editions. So I guess you'd call
I don't
it,
think either one of those is going to have more vanilla in it, though.
you know,
no, I don't
again,
think so.
like I don't think the intent was for this to have a whole lot of vanilla.
No.
No,
Right?
I
Like,
wasn't.
and I think that's kind of like unjustifiable in this. It's like you're trying to get the wafer stout, and I get that, but maybe the vanilla aspect wasn't supposed to be kind of like predominant, right?
Yeah.
Like more
Totally.
chocolate,
Versus
more
the
coffee.
Viva Stout and the Stout, which is going to have more vanilla in it because it's more of a sweetness to it versus this like coffee crisp based one, which doesn't really have any.
You want to have that coffee forward and then the chocolate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chris, what's that give us?
So that's giving us an overall score of 4.0 right on the nose with no need to round.
Thank God. So that concludes the review of Sawdust City and the beers provided for today's episode.
All right. And we've kind of alluded to this several times, but we're going to be right back to discuss cottages.
All right. We're just chilling right now on our dock, and we're going to talk about cottages.
It's a little cold though. Chilling on the
Cold?
dock.
Yeah,
it's a little
it's a little cold. Yeah.
On the dock of the bay.
There you go. Beautiful.
Mine's more like toes in the water, ass in the sand, but okay.
Hey, you
Well,
could do
it's
that.
more of-
You
yeah.
know where you could do that?
Where? Portugal?
A cottage.
Well, you could if you had a beach, for sure. Yeah, beach access. So we're going to talk about cottages, of course, because Gravenhurst is really, in the heart of cottage country in Ontario here. So kind of, talk about whether we have cottages, whether we like cottages, what do we like about them, blah, blah, blah. So in terms of do we have one We'll kind of go round table. I do not have a cottage. Do you guys have cottages?
I have one through marriage.
Ooh. Do you want to elaborate? Or?
Yeah, my in-laws have a cottage.
There you go.
Yes.
So
I've mentioned it here before.
you don't have a cottage. You use a cottage.
Sure, we'll
That's
go there.
fair.
Yeah.
Good
I have access to a cottage.
Access to a cottage.
Whenever I
Okay,
would like
there
it.
you go.
Yes. Okay.
There you go.
That's almost the best part, right? Is like having access rather
All
than
the reward, no risk.
Yeah, exactly.
No payment, but like, can use it? Yeah, I like that one.
I was going to say something about payment, but I best not.
Yeah, you stole me money. You're right.
That's never the case, and you know that.
Yeah, it's true.
I do not have one, no.
No.
And I don't have access through marriage to one.
Neither do I.
I feel like I should mention
You have
that.
access through my marriage to one, though.
I do. I could use your marriage. You know? Let me use your marriage, my boy.
Well, Logan doesn't have one either, nor does he have access to one in marriage because he's not married. So,
Yet.
Yeah. There you
Soon,
go.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, hey, jury's still out on it.
Things happen.
Yep.
So since none of us have an actual cottage of our own, would you like to have a cottage? Is that something you would want to have? So me personally, like, I'm kind of on the fence. So yes, it would be nice.
Your wife isn't.
That's true. It would be nice to have a place to go to, experience cottage life and that. But kind of what we just said is, having to maintain it, close it up in the winter if it's not, winterized, that sort of thing. I'm not sure I'm interested in that part
You
of
could
it.
pay somebody to do that, though.
You could, yes.
But I don't think you will.
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So you're on the fence.
I'm on the fence. I would say
Official status.
There's
On
pros
the
and
fence.
cons.
Yep, for
And I'm not sure which way I would land.
okay. Fair enough. Yes, I would eventually like one. I do have obviously access to one, and I have another good friends of ours that also have access to one. So that we actually stayed at. Tyler and I stayed at last year.
With others.
With
I wanna
others,
make that
like
very clear.
Well, about 17 other people.
Yeah.
Was he accessing your marriage at that point?
Let's
Well,
just,
I mean, I think they were sitting in the hot tub together.
we were. Yeah, to like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
What a great time.
Yeah, it was lovely. Baseball the next day, not so lovely. Actually, we did.
Yeah,
went
what are you
undefeated. We
talking
went
about?
undefeated.
I had a great game.
We
Yeah, I
went
had a good
undefeated.
day,
Actually,
yeah.
it was fine. Anyway, yeah, I think eventually I would like one. I would like so. Our drive to Point Clark's about an hour and a half. I think that's about a good enough drive for me. I wouldn't want it to be 3
Do you have
4
a
hours.
specific street and number that you're on?
Yes, I do actually.
So you'd like it to be closer, further? What do you think?
No, I think the hour and a half time frame or distance is perfect.
Yep.
I wouldn't want it to be 3, 4, 5 hours.
Sure.
That way, if something randomly happens, that you can easily get up there, no problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like where we are, like where I live, to Muskoka, for example. If there's no
a haul.
traffic, that's like 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's a long way.
You'd
to
probably
go.
want one like Port Stanley, somewhere down there, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like 10 minutes away, but
Yeah,
Exactly.
not worth it at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point, right?
a
there's-
little bit further than
Yeah,
that.
but you know
'Cause-
what I mean.
Yeah, but yes, definitely closer than that. Something on probably Lake Erie.
Yeah. So for myself, I do want one. Where I'm kind of at right now is I'm going to be looking at housing first and foremost.
Tyler is homeless currently. And he's looking
I would like a home first. But I am open to rental properties, and I've done kind of like the Airbnb rental property kind of aspect before. I think it's totally attainable, and I would be interested in doing like a partnership on like owning a cottage. And I mean, it kind of floated out. I mean, your wife, Chris, and I talked about it briefly one time.
Yep.
But would totally be open to something like that. And we can discuss those finer details of opening, closing, winterization. For me, I would like to, I'll save this point for a little bit later on. I'll come back to it.
Okay, cool. So in terms of, obviously we've established that none of us have cottages, but I think generally we'd all be happy with having them. We forgot Logan.
No, we didn't.
He's yelling at me. So he would not be opposed to having a cottage, but would rather allocate that money to traveling the world. So wants to be a world traveler.
I mean, you could do both.
Yeah, you could.
I mean,
big fan of he is a big fan of the cruises though. Loves a good cruise.
Yes. Yeah.
sure. I'm just saying, like, anything is achievable.
I heard Logan likes Baltimore.
Huge Baltimore guy.
Yeah.
Cruising in Baltimore.
Philadelphia too.
Philadelphia freedom.
But not Washington, D.C. I don't know why.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
All right.
Keep this going.
So in terms of qualities that we would want in a cottage, is there anything kind of specific? I mean, me personally, I would definitely want very easy access to water, whether that's either right on the waterfront, like having your own dock, or whether that's on a beach. That would be ideal, of course. And then, having a boat would be pretty cool too. Yeah,
Really?
I know. It's getting up there, right?
Really? Okay.
So
just before you, I just kind of go off that. So the boats, and we talked about my trip there a little bit in Portugal, and I was looking at the marinas and all that. Like, boats are so much upkeep, and
I know.
It again, like, I couldn't justify it. Maybe like a little fishing boat, but like nothing big. So we'll talk about this offline when we go into business about cottage rentals.
Maybe I don't know how I'll learn from you guys. We'll see. Anyway,
You know what? Just an idea. Craft Beer Connoisseurs cottages.
Oh, there you go.
The 4 C's.
What we could do? No, there's a B.
Craft Beer Connoisseurs cottages. That's 4 C's.
That's
That's 3. And there's a B.
Craft here.
But what we could do is we could have a cottage that we rent out that we make sure that we've got at least 2 tap lines in it.
There you go.
That was going to be my
Kegerator.
Yes.
And there's the transition.
Yes,
Fife, go
thank
ahead.
you. I
you
would like
4C
a
son of
kegerator in the cottage. I will get there very, very soon. So in terms of the 2 cottages that I would frequent, I'm going to say frequent, they both have waterfront access within a matter of a 3-minute walk.
Nice.
One just across the street. One is just like kind of a river that runs through. The one thing you're talking about, the boats, what I would suggest is get yourself like one of them blow up kayaks, because then they don't take up a lot of space in storage. Yep. I'm not a huge, not a water connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep.
But I do enjoy sitting on the water occasionally with a cold beer in my hand, because who doesn't? Other than that, electricity would be good.
Yes,
AC.
yes, that's a plus.
Maybe some furniture, some internet.
All right. Yeah. So, kind of going back to what I was saying before, and I kind of stopped my point is, we rented cottages growing up as well, and so I've enjoyed them throughout my life, and it's the reason why I would want one again. Waterfront, it would be great. But again, within like a 3 to 5 minute walk isn't too bad.
Yeah.
What I would be looking at for like a personal cottage is actually not really a personal. I'd be looking at as a business opportunity, because there's only so much time you can allocate for yourself out there. So I'd be looking at it as a rental opportunity. So I would want to make sure that the amenities were there for it to be used as a rental. Which would include some of those things, whether the electricity is there or not. If I was doing something that was personal, I'd go something smaller and use solar. Not a big deal. I'd probably be more of a shack, because I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time in it. But I'd be looking at something from a business perspective. So making sure you're close to the water, easy access, electricity would be good.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, you want that one.
Plumbing.
But yeah,
Indoor plumbing. What an idea!
Plumbing, a heck of a concept.
Yeah.
But I would also like something probably on Lake Huron. It's my favorite lake. We've actually discussed this previously in the podcast. But I would go back to Lake Huron and having something up, probably like up in the top, like Tobermory or Owen Sound or Sullivan Beach, where
Point Clark and Amberley is a great location.
not good enough.
Cold water, though.
Oh, yeah. Close to me. That
But
makes sense.
it can be nice. Like Sauble, beautiful beach, good tourists. So there's also like good potential for rentals and Airbnbs.
For sure. Yeah,
So I want something like that. It's a far enough drive, so it's under the 3-hour mark, which is good enough to be like, I know I'm escaping for.
Yeah, it feels like you're getting away.
Right. So that's where I'm at. Do you want to say Logan's, or do you want me to?
So Logan, again, waterfront. He loves that space, and then close enough to home that he can enjoy it enough. So again, kind of that same thing, balancing between not too far, but far enough where you feel like you're away from home. So that's basically our thoughts on cottages. Maybe we'll just kind of wrap it up as we chill here dockside.
All right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. That's going to be it for today's episode.
Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening. Every other Thursday as the Craft Beer Connoisseurs release a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite cottage owner.
Yeah, you want to suck up to those guys.
Yes, you do. They got the moolah.
So from all of us, I'm Producer Logan. I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.